Yeah, it's John Grube from wildmantraining.com. I'm going to talk today. My workout was pretty simple. I've done them before many times. Step ups, ab wheel rollouts. Did them from the knees. Was 20 step ups, 40 pounds, and 10 wheel rollouts. Now, the rollouts were done like professional wrestler Bob Backlund. Now, before anybody, you got to check him out. You got to find out who he is. From the 70s and 80s, he was a champion of WWF before it became the WWE. He was boring because I was a little kid. Nobody wanted to watch Bob Backlund. But what was amazing about Bob Backlund, he was always in great shape. And when you seen him, he looked like a fucking block of granite. And it wasn't until I got older that I understood and the way he was built and the strength that he had. Now, he was the first person I ever seen do the ab wheel rollout, and that was from a standing position. It was in the middle of a ring on a wrestling TV show, and I'd never seen it before, and I thought it was pretty cool. The next time I seen that was in high school, in ninth grade, around ninth grade. We were in the gym. This old janitor came in, Mr. Mealy, his name was, and I would say he's in his 60s. Well, we had a bunch of barbells set up against the wall. They were fixed barbells, so you couldn't take the plates off, and a lot of them had little plates, fives and tens. And I guess somebody was doing some curls, and he comes in the gym, and he bends over, and he rolls the bar out into a standing ab wheel rollout, an ab rollout. And I'm like, what the? And he pulls it back. He does a couple of them. And of course, all us kids had to get out there, and we all tried it. We weren't weak kids either in ninth grade. I've told people before, I've deadlifted 400 pounds when I was in ninth grade, and I was doing dips with at least 100 pounds around my waist, because it was more like 110 pounds I would use doing dips around my waist, and that could be validated. So I failed miserably, and so did everyone else. And from that time on, I always had an ab wheel. Now, I always did them on my knee, from my knees. I tried them that way because there wasn't a whole lot of books on it and how to learn how to use it. But I do know that when you did it, you were fucking sore for days. And it didn't matter if you did fucking 10 or fucking 10 or less. You were going to be fucking sore. You were. Your abs were fucking out there. And I tell people all the time, don't do more than 10 if you have never done it before, because you'll never want to do them again because you'll be sore for a week. Anyhow, Bob Backlund swears, he told me personally, that he actually thinks that his strength basically comes from doing step-ups and ab wheel rollouts. Now, today, the ab wheel rollouts that I did what I call the Bob Backlund rollouts, where you roll out, you keep your hips down, and then you bring the wheel back to under your chest, which makes it a killer chest exercise, not to mention the stress it puts on your inner triceps. And then you bring your hips up and roll back to the starting position, and you continue like that. So it took me a little more than 16 minutes to do the 200 step-ups and the 100 ab wheel rollouts. Now, I've done the standing ab wheel rollouts. I've had them on video. I don't feel they're real necessary. I think they're cool. I wanted to do it just to see if I could do it. And years ago, when I gave up the weight training, I went to body weight exercises, because I could never do it when I was a weight trainer. But for some reason, after years of doing body weight exercises, I tried it again, never trying it, and I was able to do it. No practice, just did it, and I was able to do it from then on. Don't know why. Maybe my body was trained differently. Maybe I strengthened the right muscles. I don't know. But the most I have ever done is 50 in a row. And I did that on my 49th birthday, and normally I would have done 49, but because I was so close to fucking 50, I was not going to not do 50. I haven't done any more of that since that. I've done probably 20, but I don't feel the need to go anymore. And I actually don't even feel the need to do too many of them. And if I do them, I do them once in a while just to maintain it. I can still do it. And I don't need to do a couple of them. Maybe I might do 5, 10 of them, but that's it. And that's occasionally. I don't think they're real necessary. But I do think that if you want the strongest core, I believe ab wheel routes will do that better than any other exercise. But these are the exercises that don't take a lot of time, don't take a lot of space, and they will definitely keep your body in check. And they will quickly show you where you are weak. And like I said before, for me, if I can't fucking breathe in a situation and I can't move on, then I failed. And I know when I was big like that, I know that, you know, when you work for a living, it's tough to train, especially when you have a family. It's tough to train in all areas to be basically a functioning strong man who's flexible, who's conditioned. Who I mean, that wasn't my job. My job was to go. I was a blue collar worker, so powerlifting and the conditioning was basically left to left to the side until I figured out that I'd rather be conditioned than have that one rep strength. And in all the years, I remember, I'll tell you an incident on the loading dock back in the day. I was about 220 pounds, and there was a guy I worked with. He was a Marine, and he had big legs. And I bet he probably was squatting at the time about 500 pounds, a legitimate squat. And I know he could do 20 pull-ups because we did them on a pipe at work. And he went into a trailer one time for a little, mess around, a little fucking wrestle match with this kid who was about 150 pounds. He was a tennis player. And the Marine walks in with the tennis player, and I know that when it was all said and done, the Marine, who squatted a ton, who could do 20 pull-ups, couldn't fucking breathe. It didn't look good for him. The other kid, the fucking tennis player, came out, didn't look like he was fucking breathing heavy at all. Just saying. That's a true story. Big, strong fucking Marine, fucking smaller tennis player. One conditioned, one had a fucking, a good fucking, good wind. The other obviously did not. He was the one fucking bent over, fucking trying to catch his fucking breath. True story. I'll talk to you.